As you know, I'm on a journey over the next 12 months to build myself as an authority in the strength and conditioning of youth team sport athletes, sports like soccer. And yesterday I was approached by Jake, an athlete recovering from a groin injury. He has been cleared for return to play by the physio, but he himself is concerned about getting injured again and sought my advice as to how to best return to sport. All I know at this stage is that he's got a groin injury. Groin injury could mean many things. It could involve something to do with his bone, ligament, or tendons, but I suspect it's a muscle injury, most likely a strain, a partial tear, rather than a complete tear or rupture. Now, before I go any further, a disclaimer that this video has been produced for my education only. It's not and shouldn't be seen as medical advice. I'm not a physiotherapist, it's just a simple strength and conditioning coach. If you are in pain or suspect you have an injury, consult a medical professional for diagnosis and treatment. Okay, so for me to understand things, I need to go right back to the fundamentals. So if a muscle is strained or torn, what does that mean? Once I understand that, I can start to consider which muscle is affected and how. So in this video, I'm going to look at what a muscle cell is and how it creates force. There are 4 different types of cell within the human body: the epithelial cells, connective, muscle, and nerve cells, all of which originate from the original zygote, the original cell that was created when the person was conceived. And that cell divides into stem cells, the DNA from which determines the cell type. Okay, so let's get into it. We're looking at the muscle cells, or the microcytes as they're otherwise called. And as you can see, and this is one here in the diagram, they are long and cylindrical and uniform in shape, and they can be sometimes up to 10 centimeters long. Now, the outside of the myocyte is called the sarcolemma. There it is. And it's the skin of the myocyte. And inside the myocyte or muscle cell, we have myofibrils, and the myofibrils contain long chains of actin and myosin. In fact, to be more accurate, the myofibrils are actually a combination of sarcomeres, which we probably have a better understanding of here. Okay, so you can see here that this is a sarcomere and this is a microfibril. So that's one sarcomere, this is the start of the second and or third, depending on how you'd like to look at it. Okay, so at the center of the sarcomere, you've got the H zone, and emanating from the H zone, you've got the thick myosin filaments. And at the end of the sarcomere, you have the Z discs, emanating from which are the thin actin filaments. The myofibril, beg your pardon, is covered with a sarcoplasmic reticulum. And when the center of the myocyte is innervated by the nerve, the sarcoplasmic reticulum here releases calcium into this microfibril, and that allows the guardrails to come off the thin actin filaments. When they come off, the hooks, which are you can't see here on the myosin filaments, are able to grab onto the actin filaments, like somebody here grabbing hold of a rope. And when that electrical charge happens, the myosin filaments contract and thereby pull the actin filaments towards them, bringing the Z disc closer to one another. And that's how the force is produced from the muscle. The more microfibrils that shorten within inside the myocyte, the greater the force the muscle cell produces. Now, this process of innovating, bringing electrical signal to the cell can potentially damage the actin and myosin filaments. So if we go back one, we can see here these little blobs on the outside of the sarcolemma. They are nuclei, and their role is to continuously repair any damaged filaments that they may find. Now, what all of this has got to do with Jake's injury, groin injury, we'll find out next time, but thanks for listening.